a little deeper.
So this is gonna be that's part one. This part two. Part two, go Quincy.
Day 5.
Day 5.
Oh, day 5 of the wedding. I mean, day 5 post wedding.
Post wedding.
Married.
Uh-huh.
Day 5 post wedding. Walk me through that day.
The day before, I finally get up enough nerve to have sex. That's just the reality. I finally get up enough nerve. We have sex that night. We have sex that morning.
So we did not have sex on the wedding night. The day after the wedding.
He tried. No.
The next day after the wedding.
I slept.
Next day after the wedding. She was a virgin, you guys. Cut her some slack. So day 5.
He was the one, right? You was so patient with me. I just knew.
No. I mean, day 4, night 4 is when you say you had sex. Okay.
Yeah.
And then sex the morning of.
Then we go to breakfast. It's a regular day. We're going to breakfast, right? So we go to breakfast. We're riding go-karts. We're chilling. We're talking. We're gonna bowl. We're gonna go bowling because we're just that type of couple, like just a chill couple. And so we decide to have a drink at the bar. I guess I still needed a lesson in tact because I asked him a question that was kind of like plaguing me the entire day. So I wanted to ask him a question. And so I pretty much like asked him, I was like, I'm not gonna tell you the question. The question pissed him off. He kind of like rejected me, low key, like, I don't want to say push me out my seat, but the way his arm moved, it kind of moved me. So I jumped up out my seat, and it was explosive. And I was young, so I was still like tit for tat, saved, sanctified. But once a person gets a piece of your soul, it's only popping.
Yep, and you're liable to do anything.
So sent him a text message. He got mad, whatever. He ends up walking back to the hotel because I left with the car. And we have an explosive fight in the room.
Because at this point, you are
day 5.
Day 5.
Day 5.
Still on the honeymoon.
Still on the honeymoon. We have an explosive fight in the room, and I was ready to leave him. Day 5. Something stops me in the hall. I just heard go back. So I go back, we talk, and we decide to pretend like it never happened.
Was that the pretending that it never happened? That was a mutual conversation. Right. All right, let's start over.
We're not even going, like, so I promise, like, I won't tell my family, you don't tell yours. This never occurred. It never happened. And it did. I mean, that's how it was, like, until a month later, when what happened in Gatlinburg happened again. At that point, I can't hide it from my mom. I need support. I need help. I am drowning. So at the same time, I find out I may or may not be pregnant. It's a lot going on in our home. At the same time, I want to find purpose. I want to find. So I start a ministry, right? And it was great. You know, it was called Free to Be Married. It was great. Met a lot of great couples. A lot of my friends joined who were married. Free to Be Married, it was just to have a platform where other people could kind of talk about their marriages and the ups and downs of them. You know, some people like to pretend like their marriages are perfect. Mine wasn't perfect. It just wasn't. We argued often, every other day. We didn't see eye to eye. It was explosive. He got abusive. We weren't happy. In fact, we were miserable. Um, I left in February and I'm like 2 months pregnant. I'm gone from my home. I didn't return until April. Even then, like we're still arguing. Nothing has changed. I'm gone and we're still arguing. He's up here trying to visit me when I would come visit my mom. We're still arguing. We could not see eye to eye. We would just argue and fuss and fight. He would be so angry. He would punch walls and I would beg him like, just don't cuss. He'll cuss anyway. And it was bad. It was just bad. I would pray, I would fast, I would ask God, I would cry, I would whimper, I would, God, why? Like everything possible. Go to conferences, go to church, lean on people, and no one could see how much pain I was in. Spiritual people, people turning their back on me, friends not speaking to me. They get a little glimpse of my marriage and they're running from me. It's bad. It's bad.
And at this point
Mhm.
was when because again, you guys, Micaiah is not a person that shelters her business.
No.
If you ask a question, she's going to be honest.
Mhm.
So at this point, Micaiah, did mom sense anything? Did family members sense anything? Or was it you initiated, it's trouble in my marriage? What should I do?
Unfortunately, my mom had to get involved week 3, week 2, because at that time, like I said, it was a possibility that I was pregnant. And so she came from a grandmother point of view, like, y'all need to stop arguing because
Mm-hmm.
there's everything that's going on with y'all. Y'all got to chill out. But we couldn't. I was an emotional wreck. During that time, he asked me not to work. And if to know me is to love me, I love work. Which God
Micaiah loves
teach
working.
God will teach you how to sit down real quick. And he made my life make me sit down. I love work. So you asking me not to work is like you taking a piece from me. So I was like, I'll be at home all day and I want to talk, right? I'm a woman. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm at home all day. I'm by myself. I'm not talking to anybody because I'm also depressed because we're having
Mm-hmm.
marital problems. So I'm not
So
calling anybody. I'm not talking to anybody.
so at this point, you guys, it seemed like it was like from an outsider, it wasn't like you didn't know what was going on with Micaiah. And you didn't want to bother her because she just got married. So we have this notion of
Call,
thinking,
call those people.
call those people.
I don't even know
call,
where that mind frame
call
came from.
those
Is that
people.
in the Bible? You don't call newlyweds. Call them people.
Call those people.
Marriage.
Call those new moms. Call those new wives. Call those new managers. Call those people.
Call them.
Um, so you have this notion of they're busy. They just got married. I
I
don't
gotta
want
say,
to bother.
it ain't always true. Call them.
Call them.
Call them.
Because I think that during that time, Micaiah needed a Micaiah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that
Yes.
and I will be open and tell you that when I've had conversations with Micaiah about her marriage, it brought tears to my eyes. When other people has had conversations with Micaiah about her marriage, it brought tears to her eyes. When certain people have read things that Micaiah have written about maybe her life in the past year, their mouth dropped
Yeah.
and it brought tears to their eyes. So, yes,
Could
check on
only
those people.
imagine how many tears I had to cry. I think I tell one of my friends, "Don't cry for me. I don't cry for me enough. You ain't got to cry for me. I cry for you, okay? Don't cry.
Mhm.
I don't cry for me enough, okay?" Um, yeah, it was
Because and again, this Micaiah is a phenomenal woman.
Quincy.
Um, she is she's a person that
It's like the
is
rest
awesome, and
of me, Jesus.
she is great. She does a great job at what she does. She allows God to use her in so many ways. And when you see this person that you watch just be so so big on God, you just know that this is not a person she doesn't deserve it. And that's all you can think about is like, no, not Micaiah. Like, are you kidding me? Not Micaiah. And to hear her some of the stories, and she's probably not gonna go that deep into it, but to hear some of the abuse, it's wild.
You know,
And
it was hard to realize, right? Will God not give you both good and evil?
what Micaiah is quoting is something that I recently read within the past, what, 3, 4 months
Yeah.
in Bible study. Job was a book that always intrigued me. And so what she's quoting is Job,
Mhm.
who lost everything.
Mhm.
And Job, I think at that point he was talking to his wife, maybe
I don't know if he was talking to his wife or his friends. Maybe his,
friends. He was talking to somebody.
I think his wife. I think it's in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was telling them, whoever he was talking to, like, I think, yep, because I think his wife was trying to like
Tell him
tell
to
him
curse
like,
God and die.
yeah, yeah, they was like tell him like, you is crazy, like you still dealing with God, and he done took everything. And he said exactly what Micaiah said. Like, why do you feel like he can't give you both?
Good and evil.
So
Mhm.
to hear that Micaiah spent the last year in turmoil, for
Yeah.
lack of better words. Can I use the word turmoil?
I would call it that word. I was
Okay.
fighting my faith, fighting my spouse, fighting my body, fighting friends, fighting spiritual aunties, fighting. Fighting demons, they're real. Fighting witches, they're real. Fighting. I spent the year in pain, in tears. It wasn't a week that passed that I wasn't crying. It wasn't a day that I didn't shed tears. A lot of days I would literally have to beg God to put on my crown of rejoicing and my garment of praise just to get out the house today. It was a tough year. Um, to go from having money, I'm talking about money, I was making over 6 figures, saved so much, to having nothing, to your account is constantly overdrawn, to can't even afford your car payment. But God is faithful. To having people bless my account out the blue, to having someone say, "Oh, Micaiah, I forgot to give you money for your wedding. Here's money." And it was just what I needed for a bill, or just what I needed to buy groceries that day. From somebody cooking me something to say, "Oh my God, you're pregnant. I want to cook your favorite food." Cooking me my favorite food, and that was my food for the next 3 days. They just didn't know it. God is faithful.
Yep.
Um, he took me low, lower than low. I was at my lowest point I've ever been in life. One day, my bed in my bedroom just broke, and whatever happens naturally, it has something has happened spiritually, and so that broken bed was how my marriage looked spiritually. It was broken like that. It broke right in the middle. I was on one side, he was on the other. And that's how my marriage was in the spiritual realm. We were like this. We could not get on the same path, no matter what we did, how many times we went to church, how much we tried to pray, how much we tried to fast. We couldn't get on the same path. It wasn't working.
So
So,
now we're pregnant.
right. To hear God tell me the entire year, read Job, running from reading Job. I don't want to read Job.
I
Job
don't
don't,
want to read Job, but everybody talking
oh,
about Job. I don't
Job
want to talk
don't get
about
what
Job.
I'm going through. What you talking about? Job don't understand. Yeah, he does.
So
Mm-hmm.
just we'll throw this ad lib in here. If you have not read the chapter of Job, I highly recommend reading it. I highly recommend reading it out loud to fully understand. Job went through a lot. Job also questioned God because that's a lot of things. Because a lot of people talk about how Job went through a lot and he still stood through his religion, but Job also did backpedal a little bit and he was unsure. So I just highly recommend reading Job. But anyway, Micaiah, now we're pregnant. You can
Pregnant,
snip that out for Golly Table Talk.
pregnant, planning a whole gender
Gender
reveal.
reveal, right? Yep.
The thing was Heels and Wheels because he was a mechanic and I was into really fashion. We already knew what we was having. We was having a little boy.
What what
Excited.
month what month are we in now of 2023?
It's April, May.
April, May. Okay.
Um, I lost the baby. No baby. Um, which brought more pain.
Yep.
Brings more pain, right? And so, and not having a spouse that can help you deal with the pain causes more pain, right? So you're just in pain.
Mm.
He's causing you pain. The world's causing you pain. You're just in pain. You're just in pain. It was a lot of days that I couldn't even get out of bed.
And I think that a lot of moms, I'm a mom, a lot of moms who physically push out a baby get the postpartum speech. From my experience, from talking to my friends and listening to people who have lost babies, that is still postpartum. You still lose those hormones. You still mentally can become depressed. Even if you do not physically have a baby, once that body becomes pregnant, those hormones that you have after the baby is lost, those hormones become depleted, which essentially is what causes postpartum in parents who actually physically have, in moms who actually have a baby.
Okay.
So, several on more occasions than others, I have realized that people who lose babies can actually go through postpartum.
So, just in pain. Um, pain. In my life, never experienced this type of pain. Never thought that
Mhm.
I'll be pain. I mean, y'all knew thought I was perfect, right? So there's
Yeah,
pride. So the spirit of
Micaiah was cupcakes and rainbows. I'm telling y'all, she asked me about alcohol.
everything was cupcakes and roses, okay?
Okay,
Everything.
cupcakes and roses.
That's all I saw, okay? Everything was cupcakes and roses until it wasn't. I mean, just painful. It was the lowest point of my life and the most challenging point of my life. And the deeper into the marriage I got, the deeper of pain and I became. Excuse me. I was so low. Like I didn't even speak. I stopped
Mm.
speaking. And to nobody to love me, I like to talk. I
Micaiah likes to talk.
I didn't talk to nobody. I didn't call nobody. I didn't reach out to nobody. I just called my mom and I would always cry. That's it. I was so low, just low, lower than low. Um, God moves, and I finally get a job because at that time I was also struggling to find work. God moves, I finally get a job, but I could not find a job in the state of Georgia. So I had to move to go to work because bills got backed up real bad. He told me to stay home. He couldn't handle the bills. Be honest with your spouse. I had to go to work. I'm a working woman. I don't mind. Went to work, but how can you work when you're in so much pain? So a lot of days I couldn't even get out of bed. I would literally have to force myself out of bed, force myself to go to breakfast, like literally make myself talk to my soul and make myself get up, talk to my soul to go take a shower, talk to my soul to brush my teeth, like make myself get up. Now, when I was up, I'm good. I'm finally gone, I'm good. But to make yourself have to do that, but to still want to fast and pray and talk to God and see what's going on and why is this happening? Help me. I need your help. And at the end of the night, arguing with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
They doing it all over again. God, please, I need your help. Just have mercy on me. What is going on? I'm fasting. I'm praying. I mean, they talking about, when you're going through the valley of the shadow of death, when you can't even fast, pray, go to church. Nothing is working. Nothing. 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 And we're
And
miserable.
at this point, um, what was your feelings towards God?
Could you possibly do this to me? Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be this great and mighty God. Why can't you change him? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, what am I doing wrong? I mean, for the longest time, I thought something was wrong with me, but I knew it wasn't. I just knew like something wasn't wrong with me. No, something is wrong with him. Like something is off. Something is wrong. And literally, like to have people around in the arguments and they say, well, how did he understand that? Or people hear him and they be like, but that's not what you said. Like something, he would like twist words or he wouldn't understand what I was trying to say. Like to literally have someone say like, your marriage would be fine if it wasn't for his anger. Like somebody said that to me. Like your marriage would be okay if he wasn't so angry. For God to give him word after word to tell him like, just trust me, just don't do this, don't do that. Like, and I'm there for those words, those prophetic words from people, and it just wouldn't snap. He wouldn't get it. He just wouldn't get it.
And I don't think we dived into the fact that you guys were both trying. Well, one way or another, counseling did happen.
No, we never went to. Well, yes, one time we did try, but those people, demons are real.
Mm-hmm.
And those people made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Go back, and when I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, "Go back to counseling," I wouldn't go because I had that much fear.
Mm-hmm.
For
And you're
fear,
talking about the
obedience.
counseling at that point, that was counseling for yourself.
No, I didn't go to counseling for myself until after the separation.
Okay. So we're here in this marriage. We just lost a baby. Um, we're now questioning God,
Right,
because we did everything right.
right. I fasted before I got married. I prayed. I asked God for validation. I did everything that I thought. It's back to here, your mind. Everything in my thought and my power that I could do. Thank you, Holy Spirit. But then God was trying to tell me. Remember, I told y'all that God spoke once, twice, but man perceived it not. So God told me on several occasions that my marriage wasn't going to be a cupcake. I just didn't perceive the word. I remember that it was the day after we got married, and we were getting on a boat, and we were headed to the cruise ship. The boat was red. We were headed to a cruise ship, and I heard the cruise was canceled. It was supposed to be our honeymoon. The cruise was so God was warning me there, like, sis, ain't gonna go on no cruise. Like this will be the hardest time of your life. I meant God spoke once, twice, but man perceived it not.
So
I didn't perceive it. I
at
didn't.
this point, we you have then did we talk about you leaving the house yet? Did we get
Yes,
there?
I left.
Yeah.
I out of the year that we were married, I was home 4 or 5 months tops. Mhm.
And we are looking at this point, we're now in
August, September, October.
August, September, October.
Right.
Are you still currently were you still currently working?
Yeah, I was working, but anytime he would need me, I remember one day I had a dream he was going to get fired, I had to go home. So anytime he requested my presence, I would come back home.
Mm.
I was still trying
Because
to be an honorable wife. You know, you
you
don't
were
ever
still
disrespect your husband. So I would literally take weeks off at a time to come home to tend to him, and I would
and this was during the time you were traveling for work, correct?
not
No, you weren't.
regular old Joe. So I would literally go without pay and go
Okay.
to go home to him because he requested my presence. Mhm.
I'm talking about the job. Was the job the one that you traveled for? No, this was a okay.
So regular old get up in the morning, work your 10 hours or your 8 hours, and you come on back home. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you would go on leave
Yep.
without pay
I would say
when he
like I
needed
need
you.
to go handle some business in Georgia because they knew that I, was in
You
between
still
states. And God
hmm
always just merciful. Even though
um
I remember like how nice my boss was at the time. And she was like, if you need to go handle your business, go ahead. And yeah, I would just leave and be gone weeks at a time and go home, be a wife, cook meals, freeze them, whatever needed to happen in the home. That's what I would do. Make sure the home was straight, then I would leave again. Hmm.
were you at peace when you were gone from the home?
No,
Still struggling because the marriage was still struggling.
right.
Correct?
And we never really dealt with our issues. Like I was the type of person I want to deal with things head on. He was the
You
type of
want to talk about it?
to talk about it. Let's fix it. He's the type of person. Can we just sweep it under the rug and go to bed? So two different type of home living, right? He grew up in a home. He grew up in a different type of home. My mom was big on communication. My mom was big on sitting at the table, dealing with the issue. They would
Talking it out.
out and walk away, and then hours later they would pretend like they're friends again. I didn't grow up like that. And that's another thing. You want to make sure that you're equally yoked, or whatever you see. That's the men laws. I told you about that.
I was gonna bring that up.
The men laws. So whatever you see, as much as they want to say, I want to be different. I want to be different. It's just hard to break those patterns, and they
Um
have to work on them. Mm-hmm.
and since you brought up the in-laws, 'cause I was just gonna bring that up. When you talk about when you get married, you marry your in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that a little more into what actually you mean. And you can give an example without
Um,
because we don't want to bash God sense family.
I'm just gonna say my in-laws didn't like me, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I got the "you took my son away from me." I got the "why do you always choose her over us?" So yeah, they
Did
didn't
you feel like
care for me that much.
do
Hmm.
you feel like he was in a battle internally with
For sure.
trauma
Yeah,
of
for sure.
any
He has
okay.
a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of it, and
And you went into the marriage healed from your childhood trauma.
heelish. You're never deliverance is it's a it's a
Every
marathon,
day.
not a sprint. It's a choice you choose every day to be self-conscious of what's going on within your soul. So if
Okay.
something disturbs your soul, it's a self-conscious thing to say, God, why am I jealous of this woman? God, why am I angry at this man? God, why do I feel compelled to cuss this person out? It's a
Mm,
constant conversation with your soul to figure
mhm.
out, okay, something's there. something's off. What's up? And a lot of people are not self-aware, and it takes a lot of self-awareness to know when something is wrong within your soul. And a lot of people are
Mhm.
just not self-aware. They think it's normal. And we use that and we say, oh, that's normal. You should love me because that's normal, as an excuse. No, baby. When you accept Jesus Christ, love requires you to change. So when you
Mhm.
accept Jesus Christ, you should change. And
Mhm.
when you marry someone, you should begin to change, not change your core values, because if you're a good person, those core values don't change, but you should shift and move differently. You just naturally should. You shouldn't be hanging out with your homeboys at 6 o'clock in the morning. You got a wife and kids at home. You should be at home. You're changing, not because we're requiring you to change, not because your wife is not saying go out and get a drink, but because you're a husband, your
Mhm.
presence is requested at home. Now
Mhm.
you have days where you go out with your homies, whatever. But at the end of the day, I told y'all I'm very. But at the end of the day, you have some requirements. You just do. Ephesians
Mhm.
5 is a great book about. It's a great chapter about marriage. You just have some requirements of change. You just do. And
Um, oh,
don't say accept me for who I am because you love me.
yeah.
No, no.
So at this point, you have begin before the marriage, you started working on self-awareness.
Right.
Am I okay to believe that God sent may have not conquered that battle of self-awareness yet?
Definitely not.
Do you feel like had he done that in before going into the marriage would have worked?
For those he foreknew, he predestinated.
So it was never meant to work.
I don't think so. No.
And we're gonna talk about why you actually call him God sent in a second. But I feel like the people that are keeping up will keep up and understand why you call him God sent. But anyway, so now we're fast forwarding. Fast forward, we are now out the household. We're back and forth, right? Marriage still is not working, correct?
No, it's
Um,
not working.
families are now involved.
Unfortunately, we have people no longer being friends, people no longer speaking. It's explosive. It's bad. And I felt bad because we
And
haven't, we're 30-year friendships. We're talking about 15-year friendships just gone. They're
and
vanishing.
for people who don't know,
Mhm.
it's the family, Micaiah's family and Godsend's family that are now the friendships that she's discussing are the friendships that are at odds because of Micaiah and Godsend's marriage.
Right.
So that had to also
Take a toll on
weigh
your
heavy.
because I'm big on relationships. I love people.
Yep.
And so that
And
I
these are people that you also knew.
right. So I tussled with that. I tossed and turned with that for a long time. Like
Mm.
bad. To see the
So
relationships damaged.
so even even in that, is it okay to say that you were still trying to work it out?
Yeah. Who doesn't want to love their husband? That's why even when I first started, you are still a godsend. I still love you. I want the best for him. Like who doesn't which that ain't I'm not finna wish death on no who am I Jesus? No. So no, I want the best for you. I want your life. I want you to have life and life more abundantly, whether it be with me or somebody else. You want that for someone. So yeah, you want to keep working on your marriage. Call him every day. Can we just talk, please? Please. Yeah. You
Help
want
me, help you, help me, please.
yeah, please. Like
So
talk to me. What's wrong with you? Like, please. Yeah.
I almost thought you was about to say his name. So I said, wait. But and at this point, are you currently still struggling with the relationship with God? A little.
A little less.
A little less.
By November,
Because we went through April, May. No, excuse me. We
August,
already got August, September, October.
by November, he cusses me out and calls me everything but a child of God. I remember it hurt me so bad that I beat my chest. And so I was at work. That day I could not stop crying. I literally was sitting home from work because I could not stop crying. That's how bad he cussed me out. And no one cusses me out. Like nobody cusses even around me. They don't even say
Cupcakes
to
and
me.
rainbows, you guys.
So even like my own friends, they were cussing. They'd be like, "Okay, I'm so sorry." Like no one cusses around
Sorry,
me.
Micaiah. I slipped. To
Everybody.
this day.
So to be with someone that doesn't even respect the fact that you don't want to hear cuss words and cussing
And for
out.
the people that feel like the fact that you did not want him to curse around you was petty, can you just go a little into why you and how you feel about curse words? Because I don't want
People
it
to
to be
think
a thing.
yeah.
That there you go.
So I learned from a ex warlock, earthquake Kelly. He just passed actually. That curse words release spirits, and so the F word releases the spirit of anger, and the S word releases the spirit of fear. So don't cuss around me because demons is
It's
real. I don't want them demons in my house. Okay, so don't cuss around me. I'm good on them demons. Okay. See, we love to pretend like the paranormal activities and all that stuff that y'all love to watch on TV, that stuff is real. It is real. And I don't want them problems. So you don't invite the devil into your home. Don't give him a seat at your table. And what y'all don't realize is with them words is y'all are giving the devil a seat at your table. You're just like, okay, let's eat, devil. Come on. No, don't give him a seat at your table. And that's what it was. It's like, no, I'm not giving the devil another entrance into my life. I'm not giving him a seat at my table. So
because we're already struggling.
I'm already struggling. I'm already hurting. So you're gonna add more anger to me that I'm already in anger. You're gonna add more fear on me that I'm already in fear about this man. I don't need it. Please don't cuss around me. Mm-hmm. That's
And so now, cursed you out in November.
Right. I beat my chest. My mom calls me while I'm at work, and my mom says, "Micah, you beat your chest because of pride." I melted in my seat. I'm like, God, I pride. I pride. This is crazy. I pride myself on not having pride. You got
I
pride.
pride myself on not having pride. My God. Told y'all he was tricky.
Literally, God is using God sent to show me things about myself, right? So he used God sent to show me that I put my virginity above him. He used God sent to show me that I had pride. He used God sent to show me how disobedient I am to his voice. He used God sent to show me that I had anger. He used God sent to show me that I had disappointment. He used God sent to show me that I had to work on how I manage relationships because that's important to God. How you treat his people is important to him. So he used all of that year, all of that foolishness, all of that pain, that hurt, that turmoil, ooh, you've never had pain the way I just had this pain. And so he used all of that to show me, to make me look in a mirror. Because at the end of the day, why was I attracted to that man? So something is inside of you that makes my soul skip a beat. So what is it that's inside of you that makes me fall in love with you? So our souls are connected for what? He had pride. I had pride. He had guilt. I had guilt. He had frustration. I had frustration. So there's something in you that makes me attracted to you. Why is my soul speaking to you? Why do you make me jump? Why do you make my heart skip a beat? Because you got to remember, your soul is comprised of your mind, your will, and your emotion.
Mm.
That's your soul. That's your heart. All that's connected. So why are you making my heart skip a beat? Y'all want to get real, real. Why do you make, excuse my language, my jaws wet? What is inside of you that's making me skip a beat? So everything that I felt like was wrong with God said, some of that was really wrong with me too.
And you saw it.
I had to see it, but it was hard. So God literally said, she's still not learning. She's still not getting the lesson. Okay. Okay, devil, go make him cuss her out. For me to do this, for him to call my mom, for my mom to call me. Micah, I heard pride. Pride. I got pride.
Yeah, I don't got pride. I was just upset.
I had pride. Oh, I was
Mom,
perfect.
I was just upset. I was just mad.
I was perfect. I had pride. Oh, best believe it.
So
Mm-hmm.
at that
That's
point,
why. So that's why I call him God sent, because he was God sent. He showed
yep.
me and my mistakes and my flaws and those things I needed to get right and the things I needed to humble. So God
And
had
it
to
is,
humble me through him
yep.
for the
And it's
great.
hard. It is hard.
Look at Job, baby. Look at Job, baby. It's hard. It
It's
hurt.
hard.
No one, when you're going through your valley of the shadow of death, no, a lot of times, no one could give you peace. I'm talking about, I'm going to see prophets. I'm talking to friends, praying, fasting, everything. And no one could give me peace. Just as Joe friends couldn't give him peace, and everybody was pissing him off, y'all started to piss me off.
Because they pissed Job off. They pissed.
No one could give me peace.
Mm-hmm.
No one could calm my soul but God. Nobody. And so I'm looking forward to my husband. Come on, give me peace. Like, why can't you just
Just do
I cannot,
right. Just
it would
do it right.
never, it wouldn't have mattered if he did it right 10 times over. I was not going to receive peace from him, because that peace that I needed only can I get from God.
Mm.
What's next question?
All right. So we're cursed out November.
First out, beat my chest. That brought me peace when I realized that I had some issues.
So was it mom that, so when mom opened up the pride conversation, that's when you took a step back?
Right? Do I have pride? What's going on with me?
So at that point, did we realize that certain things was put on the pedestal, or were we still just focused on the pride?
So pride, I started talking to God about pride, then low self-esteem, then witchcraft came up, then so God just started to reveal things to me that I had to get it right with him, that I had to get it right within my soul. Mm-hmm.
And at that point, we're looking back on the past 9 months, correct?
In 11 months, yeah. Because
11
by this
months.
time,
Jesus. Oh yeah, because this was November.
like,
Jeez.
so it's like December by this time, and I'm healing and da da da. And
At
I'm
this point, are we in the house or are we out the house?
I
Are we back
Thanksgiving.
and forth?
So I came home for Thanksgiving. We go to Jazzy's wedding. We have a conversation. I'm thinking things will be different. He punches a mirror. It's not different. Um, but it's okay. And even my mom could tell, you're changing. God is strengthening you. She says that to me actually. Mikey, you're changing. I go back because I started a new job. So I go back and we're starting to deal with our issues, right? And I'm thinking, we're talking about turning over a new leaf, but in order to turn over a new leaf, you have to turn over, right? I mean, one
Mm,
person can't turn over and you still laying like this. You have to you both have to turn over a new leaf. He's in the mindset of, okay, we're just going to sweep this whole year under the rug, but when abuse happens, you cannot sweep it under the rug. You have to deal with it. And
mm.
much as you would tell that to God, saying it's like he didn't want to deal with it, just it didn't happen. I'm not that type of man. And unfortunately, you are. Because you're hurt and it's not your fault. It's not your fault, sweetheart. You are just hurt. It's not your fault, dear. You're just hurt. And so he didn't want to deal with it. So I come home for Christmas. I love the holidays. Okay. God even took pagan holidays away from me. He messed up every holiday. So, holidays don't even move me. And I love holidays because my love language is gifts and I love presents. I love holidays. God took holidays from me, baby. I don't even care. Okay. I don't even care. God took everything, stripped me of everything, took holidays as well. I don't even like this, whatever. I will still celebrate Christmas, but it won't move me like it used to. So if people didn't call me on my birthday, I'll be so upset. They didn't call me. This year I text Quincy and Jazzy. Listen, I'm going to give
Y'all
y'all
missed my
pass,
birthday.
but y'all just missed my birthday. Oh, Micaiah, I'm not going to talk to them no more. They not my friends no more. I just politely sent them both a text message. Hey, sis, missed my birthday, but I love you anyway. Didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I said, y'all tried it. Y'all missed my 30th birthday. I know I better have a party for my 40th. That's exactly what I told him. Love him to death. That's exactly what I told him. It's actually Jazzy's birthday today.
Yeah.
So, happy birthday, Jazzy. Oh yeah. Came home
So,
for Christmas.
Christmas.
The house felt different. He was different. So I don't know if he was different or if I was different. But it was different. We were different. The dynamics. First, you could still feel that love that we shared. It was gone. It was no longer there. But see, God warned me before I came home that something was going to happen. He prepared me. And this time I perceived. Not received. And so I came home. We thought it was regular, right? I told y'all we always fought. One night he said, "Get your ish and get out." The next night he said, "Get your ish and get out." And by the third day, he told me, "Get your ish and get out." And I got my ish and got out. I woke up December 31st, New Year's Eve. And I remember crying in the mirror, washing my face, tears flowing down my cheek. And I said, "God, I don't want to go into another year with my marriage like this." I remember just travailing in the mirror trying to wash my face. I get out of the bathroom. We argued like it's crazy. I don't even know how we started arguing. It just went from 0 to 100.
And during this time, for people who don't know, was alcohol involved in these big arguments or no? These were sober, as far as you know, sober arguments.
Out sober. I came home. There was a big bottle of alcohol in the fridge. I don't know if he was sober. He maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I
That
don't
was
know.
just for context. Just for context.
I don't know. I was sober. Okay. Love you anyway. Yeah. So we fought and argued. He told me to get my ish and get out. He told me that everybody saw that I was the problem in the marriage and that he was a great husband. Get out. I said, okay. So I called my mom, called my brothers. They moved me out. And
So,
yeah, I haven't been
Paul,
back.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. And these everybody's
Mhm.
that he stated that saw you as the problem, um, were these people aware of the physical and mental abuse, or these are people that you possibly didn't even have conversations with about what was actually going on?
So he could only be abusive physically and verbally. He could never defeat me mentally.
Okay.
God had sharpened my mind. So God prepares you for the battle. And it's very
Right.
remember that. Um,
So nothing, the physical verbal abuse never got you to the point to where the mental was being affected in that way or
One
being abused?
time, and my mom wanted to DD5 me. She wanted to put me in the mental institution, but I think God did that to show her how bad my marriage was because she thought I was overreacting. Everybody did until my mom walked into that house and she saw what was going on. And my mom was like, oh, heck no. Like, something's wrong with you. And yeah, so God is merciful because people was literally finna check me into a mental hospital. That's how good he was. That's how
That's how things were being portrayed.
right. That's how good the devil was. So
So mm, so he told you to get your stuff and get out. You got your stuff and got out. Your family came and moved you out. And we are talking about January 2024.
right. So he got sick and I came over, I made him tea. I said I wanted us to go to counseling. We just never went. And we never worked on our marriage again. It was just over.
So at this point,
Mhm.
we are now, right now, are we divorced or are we in the process of a divorce?
Process. I gotta them papers. Ooh, Jesus. A lot to do. But yeah, in the process.
In the process of a divorce. And one might say that the fact that you are smiling when you say divorce,
The
how
joy
do you
of the Lord is